Hey, and welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our journey to 250,000 subscribers. So help me do it. In fact, I'm going to ask you to help me to get to 500,000 as soon as we get to 250. So hit the subscribe button and share it with a friend. And today I want to talk to you about MAGA people, because MAGA people are unhinged. They're crazy. They are absolutely batshit nuts. And I want to show you some clips that Adam Mockler recorded recently at a Trump rally. All right. Now, I want to be clear that Adam Mockler is part of the Midas family, right? Which I'm part of. And I had him recently on my Mea Culpa podcast. You should check that out too. And here, Adam goes to this Trump rally and he starts to interview attendees. And I have two, what I would consider incredibly shocking clips that I want to show you. They are so unhinged. This is the fear that we have to have of MAGA, because look, while we outnumber them, they really are absolutely insane. Let's play the first clip, which is Adam asking an attendee if they would rather vote, get a load of this, if they would rather vote for Kamala Harris or for Vladimir Putin as president of the United States. You can't make this stuff up. Play the clip.
You either have to vote for Kamala or Putin. Who do you choose?
Oh, definitely Putin.
Putin.
Really? Why?
Absolutely. He's for his people. He is for his people.
Would you rather vote for VP Harris or Vladimir Putin if you had to choose?
I would actually vote for Putin if I had to, for the simple reason, if you understand Marxism and communism, you can work within it.
Yeah, Putin's values on family and on traditions and, protecting children. It almost sounds like, I'm not a pro-Putin guy.
So you think the country would be better off under a rule like a Kim Jong-un or somebody, or Vladimir Putin?
Hey, I love Russia.
You do? Why?
Yeah, it's beautiful. The people are wonderful.
I'm not a fan of Putin, but Kamala is for communism and taking our whole entire...
This is going to be a tough one, but what's your definition of communism? I just want to know.
I believe, it starts off great. I see how people can be attracted to it, like, oh, everybody's even.
And Russia has always been the antithesis of what America stands for. I mean, Russia hates the West. They want to undermine our values. So what does Kamala Harris do that makes her worse than Putin? Genuine question.
Because she's a socialist.
It's almost like a trap. Once they get you trapped, you become one of their drones, and it leads to totalitarianism.
I'm so sorry. The level of ignorance and stupidity. The guy can't even define what communism is. And the other guy, the toothless guy, wearing an army hat with a shirt that says land of the free, home of the brave. This is a guy that would rather see Vladimir Putin as president of the United States as opposed to Kamala Harris? Seriously? She's a socialist? What has she ever done that would give them the impression that she's a communist, that she's a socialist? She's an American. I have no idea what these folks are even talking about, and I question whether you could figure it out. And how about the woman who's sitting there, and she doesn't even know what the hell she's talking about when she's talking about, about Vladimir Putin. I love Russia. I wonder if she's ever even been there. I love the Russian people. By the way, they're wonderful people. Don't get me wrong. I'm married to a Ukrainian who, when she was living in the former Soviet Union, it was all one. Yeah, and I'm married 30 years. I'm not talking about the Russian people. I know Russian people. But Vladimir Putin doesn't care. Vladimir Putin doesn't care about his people either. He's very similar in that respect to Trump. How do you know that? He doesn't care if they eat or not. This is a guy who is, it's unbelievable that they could even say that I want Vladimir Putin over Kamala Harris. I am stunned. I am stunned that there are Americans, because they're listening to Fox News, they're listening to OAN, they're listening to Newsmax, they're listening to Donald J. Trump, who praises Putin and attacks and calls Kamala Harris, right? Wait for it. Calls Kamala Harris a fascist, a communist, a socialist. And what are these folks doing? They're just regurgitating his stupidity. That's all that they're doing. And I want to show you another clip. I want to show you another clip of Adam talking to MAGA Trump supporters about the 2020 election. Again, you can't make up the level of ignorance and stupidity that these three teeth, by the way, that guy exactly is what I talk about when I talk about MAGA, 3 teeth and 4 brain cells. Play this clip.
Donald Trump said the election was going to be stolen before it happened, and then on election night, he prematurely declared victory when the votes weren't even counted. He then took 60 different court cases, lost every single court case. Then, Bill Barr, Mike Pence, Ivanka Trump all said there's no election fraud. So who do you trust more than our courts, our institutions? Rudy Giuliani? What's your source of election fraud is my question.
I saw actual data that night. I watched that election for 12 straight hours.
Why did the courts reject that data?
Because I think some of the courts are false as well.
But they were Trump-appointed judges, so Trump-appointed fake judges, or what?
You got to look at all the data.
We've looked at all the data. All the data says the election was legitimate, completely.
So it's your word against mine. It's whatever you want to believe.
Wait, can I say? Wait, no. Can I say real quick? It's my.
We live in the United States. Everybody has their own opinion.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
That's beautiful. Well, can I say? You say it's your word against mine, but it's my word, our court's words, the FBI, the DOJ, Bill Barr, Mike Pence versus you, Trump, and Rudy Giuliani, and Mike Lindell. So do you think Rudy Giuliani?
A lot more people than
Do you think Rudy Giuliani is?
The DOJ, the FBI, in my opinion, are corrupt.
But Bill Barr.
Whatever they're telling
Who
you.
appointed Bill Barr though? Trump appointed all of these people.
He fired them. He fired people.
So he's hires the best people, but he hires them and then fires them immediately, right?
Good. Because he found out the truth
People
about them.
deserve to get fired. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be placed in a position because of what you know or who you know. You should be placed in a position because you qualify
So
for
you
that.
have no evidence that the election was stolen beyond feelings.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot get through to these people. You just can't. I mean, no matter what you say, they have a retort that makes no sense at all. First of all, Bill Barr was not fired right away. Bill Barr only left after the election and only like a week before that Trump was to move out of the White House and Joe Biden was to move in. That's when Bill Barr left. Now, Bill Barr, as you know, I have no regard for him. I think he's a total piece of shit. And I think he weaponized the Department of Justice to go against critics, to go against me, right? And I have the documentation to prove it. I bring up the word documentation for a reason. Here, Adam is saying to these two supporters, these two Trump supporters with the hats, with the shirts, yay, they're part of a community of dummies, that the documentation, the evidence demonstrates that the 2020 election was not stolen. I wish he would have turned around and he said, wait, are you also going to tell me that Ivanka Trump, who turned around and said that the election was not stolen, is also lying? So what did he do? Did he get rid of his own daughter as well? I mean, there is no getting through to these people. No matter what you say, they will defend Trump to the end. That is not a supporter. That is a cult follower. And Donald Trump is the cult leader. Do we want this country to be led by a cult leader, or do we want this country to be led by a president? Do we want somebody who is going to install chaos and divisiveness and hatred and animus, or do we want somebody who's balanced, who has leadership capabilities, who wants to create unity and compassion for one another, who wants to see everybody, not just the uber rich, but everybody get their fair chance at the American dream? I would also have liked to ask these women, just tell me, what do you do for a living? I'd like to know a little bit about them and what news stations, where do they get their news from? That's what I would really like to know. In that way, it gives us an ability within which to combat those outlets once and for all. Because like I say in my book, Revenge, the very last line, Trumpism is fascism, and we must eradicate it from our body politic. If we do not, we are right now on the precipice of losing our democratic republic. And people like those two women who would rather see a Vladimir Putin in the Oval Office than Kamala Harris, they are the problem, and they are the ones that need to be stopped. It's why I will end this episode as I do all. We are not in a position to engage in anything other than beating the piss out of them at the ballot box. It's why I will remind you, go to vote.org, Make sure that you're fully registered. You'll get an acknowledgement. You'll get something in the mail that will tell you. And if you can't make it to the ballot box, simply because you know either you're going to be out of town or something, call for a ballot. Let them mail it to you and mail in. Do a mail-in ballot. Your vote counts. It's important. And make sure when you're filling it out, make sure that you vote Harris Walz 2024. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.